Hey yo, what's going on? No, okay, all right. I can't ASMR. My voice ain't. I gotta prep my voice for that. That's different. That's something different. Anyways, what's going on, everybody? We are here for another episode of No Cooldown Podcast. I believe it's episode 83. We're getting up there in age. You know what I'm saying? They're blowing out too many candles. Our back is hurting. We may need some Ben Gay to help us get through the day. But damn it, we're here yet again for some more talk on the video gaming space. What we love to do. You know what I'm saying? First and foremost, we back with our partner in crime, Wen Easy. He's in the building. What's going on, Wen?
Chilling, man. Chilling. Having a good day today.
Yeah, man, 100%. You know what I'm saying? It's a real good day. It's a real good day. But moving on, we got a guest in the building, you know what I'm saying, to speak on some special emergency topics that have come through over the past week and some real juicy stuff. But welcome back, you know what I'm saying, to the podcast, to the 2024, you know what I'm saying, well, 2023 reigning defending video game draft champion, you know what I'm saying, the Crab Tank CEO, you know what I'm saying, the old man, the resident old man of growth, aka the OG, the man from Toronto, i.e. Ken knows it. Ken was in the building. What's going on, man?
Bro, if he keeps disrespecting me about being from Toronto, this is absolutely crazy. Every single time, bro. This man is from Florida and he thinks he's from New York. Crazy, bro. Every single time.
Wow.
Every single time.
He has to pull
and
out
you
the
whispering
accent
in my ear. Today's a crazy day. That's all I gotta say.
Now, what's going on, bro? How you feeling?
Doing good, man. Glad to be back here. Honestly, very happy to talk about this even more. I've been talking about Palworld at length. I know if you guys have been playing it, I have to just say it's an amazing game, but yeah.
We gonna get into it, man. There was a lot of power. I mean, as people may know, if you look at the title, you look at the cover, you know we got to get into Palworld this week, but we got some stories sandwiched in between. We gonna get through to it. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. If you're watching this on YouTube, go rate this 5 stars. If you're listening to all the audio platforms out there, again, No Cooldown Podcast, just type that in, we'll be right there. No Cooldown Podcast TikTok, No Cooldown Pod on Twitter, No Cooldown on YouTube, just youtube.com/@NoCooldown, and we'll be there. Got a lot of special stuff coming on the way. You don't want to miss it. Again, from the shorts, from the different segments, got some special, again, events and other things, you know what I'm saying, here and there planned. Some stuff you might want to keep an eye out for, man. So make sure y'all tapped in to help us get through the algorithm and get through to more listeners. We appreciate you guys for all the support over the past month or so. It's been like crazy. You've seen a lot of stuff jumping, a lot of new activity. And again, check out that community tab as well, man. We're posting polls, we're posting new updates just on everything, some little news, memes, things here and there. We're starting to build that up. So make sure you check out the community tab on YouTube, youtube.com/@NoCooldown as well. So without further ado, we can hop in to the stories for the week. Are y'all ready?
Yes, born ready.
Oh man, let's get it started. So first and foremost, this is like it's been a minute since we've had, you know what I'm saying, the Nintendo ninjas at work, but it seems that we've got some. First, we got to talk about Palworld, and specifically a group
Did
of.
you say it's been a minute?
At least for me, at least in this scale.
This is a monthly thing.
I haven't seen on my feed. I was about to say they probably get somebody in the shadows, but I ain't seen it to this scale, bro. We seen this man get clapped in live. But let me intro it though. But so basically, again, Palworld is out. Palworld is being experienced by everybody all over the world, and a team of modders had actually, you know what I'm saying, put out a Pokemon mod itself. So you know, you get the whole shebang bang. You know what I'm saying? The pals are looking like Pokemon. The trainers are looking like, again, Ash and Brock, and your companions are looking like those types of people. It's coming from the Toasted Shoes team, right? And within the week, Nintendo ninjas were all over his ass. Again, stuff getting banned. You know what I'm saying? The videos getting taken down all over the internet. We had Kendall's video got taken down over some stuff about to say in the past day or so. And on top of that, the dude who posted the mod that was going to be coming out, he's like, "Hey, Nintendo has come for me. Please leave me in your thoughts and prayers." And this could mean a lot of things, but all I know is Nintendo, they not playing. They never have, bro. So I guess how y'all feel about the open and shut case that was the Palworld Pokemon mod?
He fucked up.
Nope.
That's really what he should not have done that. I understand how funny and how cool it is. But Nintendo has shut down less. I keep remembering every time I think about anything that has to do with modding or Nintendo or anything that isn't on a Nintendo game on a Nintendo system, I always think back to the dude who was like, "Oh, I just wanted to put Ocarina of Time in Unreal Engine 5 or Unreal Engine 4 or whatever." I just wanted to see if I could do it. I'm really kind of just testing it for myself, and I'm putting up videos of me doing it because I want to showcase it. And Nintendo shut that shit down. The dude was never going to release it. He was just like, I just want to try it out. I just want to see what I could do. And Nintendo was like, nah, dude, you can't do that. You're done. And that is kind of like the state of that company. So any modders out there, I would steer very, very, very clear from any of their IPs because they are, if anything, what's the opposite of being afraid of suing? Like, if anything, they're looking for things to sue for. Like, I think they put a lot of time into finding things to sue people for. So yeah, chill on the Nintendo stuff. It's not worth jail.
I have another proponent of this because I pay attention to Nintendo a lot. It's actually a lot more worth it than you think it is. So now I get where Wen's coming from. If you don't want to mess with it, if you want to be safe and work with companies, but what this does is it gives you more of a buzz because of the fact that you get to say it and then put out tweets, put out a whole bunch of stuff that Nintendo did this to me. It's been known since like the beginning. And I want you guys to also know he put out the mod on January 22nd. Actually, the video. They took it down on January 23rd. And then they started sweeping everybody, which meaning me day. on that same day. Now, they didn't just take it out, by the way. They got rid of it. Like, they deleted. They forced YouTube to delete the actual video.
That's crazy. Not even unpublished. My man said, clear that from your drive.
No, they don't play with this stuff at all. Like, Nintendo does not play with it. And I'll tell you this right now. So when you were saying that, when the funny thing is, Nintendo probably has the most modded community outside of Steam and, like, you know, obviously PC and stuff like that. But when it comes to console games, I would probably say that this is the most modded, like, company because of the fact that they hate it so much. And because of the fact that they hate it so much, they try to make more. So, like, even to the point, that's why they made their whole guidelines for Smash. And I know I'm getting off topic, but that's why they did it, because they made rollback netcode for Smash Brothers Melee. And they were like, yeah, this can't happen. So yeah, they took everything out, bro. They don't want to see this. They gave Ash a gun. That's a big no.
Ash with the strap? No. We gotta shut this shit down, bro. The level of quickness, I see my man's page get taken down. You know what I'm saying? The whole it was a blur. I was somebody looking for the mod on Twitter. I think it was Data Dave. Shout out Data Dave. I think he was looking for it. He asked for it one day, and then the next day I just seen him put up crying emojis because the shit was gone. I was like, bro, like, it happened that fast. Like, dog, don't play with Nintendo, bro. You gonna be in Guantanamo Bay wondering what happened to you. Like, in a week's notice, it's a wrap for you, dog. Like, I even know it was monthly like that. The well runs deep.
Bro,
the well runs deep.
Like, they pay for like, this is why when people were saying that, yo, y'all need to calm down, Nintendo would have already done this already. They would have shut the game down as soon as the launch trailer went out.
Facts.
Yeah.
Facts.
And we could talk about that later. Never mind.
Yeah, we could talk. But I will say again, we talked about this a year. Honestly, whenever when we first saw it, like the launch trailer, whatever, when it's first popped up on the podcast, you can go back to whatever episode it was from or whatever separate video it was. It's definitely from a year ago. But
remember, if you're a real fan.
Facts. If you use your memory banks. If you're a real, you know what I'm saying, cool downer. If you're a real cool downer, think about that. But literally, we talked about it, and one of the first things that Wen said out of his mouth is, yo, if this doesn't get a cease and desist, it's gonna go crazy. That's one of the first things he said. If it doesn't get a cease and desist, that's what everybody's expecting, because that's how Nintendo moves, man. A quick draw, boom, you're out of there, bro. Security taking you out the whole frame. It's a wrap for you. You know what I mean? So listen, it's just tough seeing. It's just tough seeing it in real time, but it also plays into the bigger, I guess, the buzz of Palworld, because it's just, you know, it's counterculture in a way to Nintendo. You know what I mean? So we'll talk about it later, but I just thought that was very funny how quickly that happened. I feel like we haven't had a high profile Nintendo shutdown like that in a minute, at least to me. All right, but we can push on here. Next story. So there was, I guess, the reveal of some brand new monitors, a new line that came through from MSI. There's the MSI Meg 321 URX. So they talked about a whole bunch of different features, 4K, 240 hertz, OLED, all that good stuff. And, you know, there was a lot of cool features in there with the spectrum bar and all that stuff. But there was a lot of attention being paid towards one specific feature of this monitor, and it was called AI Skylight. Now, this feature apparently was showcased with League of Legends, and it's going to have the ability to use AI to predict where enemies will be on a screen. Now, this again was tested in League of Legends to show it basically like popped up a big red skull in the dark spaces of the map where you were running, where a player was running towards, and it basically predicted where the enemies would be in that sense. And they're saying that's being tested, and apparently it's, you know, basically since it's running off of the monitor and the chip in the monitor, it can't get detected. So at this point, you know, this is a straight up cheat being used in real time, and you know what I'm saying, just a new way for people to kind of get their hands on some nefarious gameplay, if you will. And there are some plans, according to, you know, PC World's article, there's some plans for them to go into Dota 2 and Counter-Strike 2 and test more of this. So AI Skylight, we can go to Wen first. How you feel about this?
All right. So a bit of Wen lore people might not know about me. I do play League of Legends. You know, I would say quite casually, very infrequently. All right, that's a lie. But as somebody who plays League of Legends, and I think that this monitor in and of itself, like what it's giving, the information it's giving you is information that if you look at the map, you will see yourself. But the actual monitor is registering that information and kind of like displaying it and flashing it in your face like, hey, there's somebody over here. And in a game like League of Legends, where you're trying to focus on like 6 different things at once, that is a game changer for a lot of people, because if you're on my team, for some reason, none of them know how to look at the fucking map. So the computer being like, hey, this is where the person is on the map, is quite impactful for people who suck at the game. And when I say suck at the game, like it will help the average person go up a couple tiers, if you ask me. Now, is this shit cheating? Yes. But there are already like third-party apps for League of Legends that will basically give you an overlay of certain things. So like there are specific objective timers that aren't displayed in the game, but these overlays will be like, yo, you got 5 minutes and I'm counting down until this is active. Whereas in League of Legends, the only like actual notification you'll get about the timers will be if you are holding tab or looking at a different menu, like to see these timers pop up on. But these overlays will give you that information. Some people will say that these overlays are cheating in and of themselves because they give you so much information that, and it's keeping track of information that you don't have to yourself. So this isn't necessarily new in the League community of having like a third party something assisting your game, but it is wild that it is a monitor and AI tech that it is doing it like off the cuff, because somebody even pointed out like it would be hard to even ban somebody for using this, because you would need the game to know what your hardware is on top of like, and not even just your hardware, your monitor. Like monitors are not as connected or integral to a system like a motherboard or a hard drive. Like I don't know how they would even connect these kinds of things to these games, but it's kind of nasty. But if you're also playing on the AI smart monitor and you're getting waxed, man, I don't know if this is the hobby for you anymore, gang.
Yeah, listen, it's wild, bro. And again, my take on it is, get this shit destroyed as soon as possible. This is kind of listen. Somebody is. I'll use the buzzword at the end of my statement, but this is crazy. If you have an AI, you're able to train it in whatever game application or whatever context of a game. You can literally just cheat in everything to have a whole wall hack basically for any sort of game, which is already bad enough itself. But damn, bro, it's crazy.
It's already a thing.
Yeah.
So I don't know how often you pay attention to the hacker community, but sadly, because of the games that I play, they actively watch me. I don't know why, mostly because I cover them and like talk about like what they're doing and what's going on. Something like Splatoon isn't as egregious. Like obviously at the end of the day, they tried to kick them out, stuff like that. I understand this is more like something you're buying to have on your monitor to see. So like if it's, and I don't play League, so obviously I can't say like, oh, this is probably not that big of a deal. But wouldn't it just be better for League to like make it an accessible option for that to happen? If it's going to be a problem, like wouldn't that just like defeat it automatically? Because you can't stop people from purchasing a monitor unless they stop it themselves.
So I feel like I want to agree with you, but the only reason I don't think they would implement it so fast would just be because the monitor, I feel like, is going to be way more expensive than other monitors, right? So like it won't be accessible to everybody. I don't think that like that idea is wrong. by any means, a lot of people will be upset because like no map awareness, like seeing where people are at, that is just essentially League of Legends itself. Like
Yes.
that is a very
That's
big
any
part
game.
of it. No, yeah, and that's like you said, it's like it's any game. I wouldn't be against it because I think like if this becomes a problem, we'll just implement it into the game, and then it is no longer cheating. Or even like at
Right.
high levels, people can't use this setting, or even in ranked, this setting is inactive, right? That would be a good idea. But the only downside to this is the simple fact of like, hold on a second, I'm trying to like, I literally just lost my train of thought.
Yeah, no, you're fine.
But-
The buzzword I did want to use while you try and think of it was, it's just competitive integrity is again taking more and more hits, and it's like, bro, how can you manage, even if you're trying to find some roundabout solution, you know what I'm saying? And maybe again, again, people who are cheating like that, if they make it so far into like going to live tournaments and stuff like that or whatever for a CS:GO 2 or a League of Legends, they'll go to these places where they don't have this technology, and then they're exposed. You know what I'm saying? They're not as good or whatever,
Yeah.
and then you know the arc of justice in the universe will balance out, but there's just so many things in between. It's like, bro, people can't play a fair fight anymore. People can't play a fair match. We're getting more and more exposed to the fact that, you know, just that cheating is just gonna be a commonplace thing. Do we want to normalize it and put it in a box? You know what I'm saying? At least at this level, or do you want to try and fight the tide? You know what I mean?
Like,
now I remember,
bro. The truth is, a lot of online games are washed from a online standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
They've been, like the biggest thing that happens, let's say like Splatoon, right? I'll stick with that one. They automatically, like, you know, win trading is in every single game. Like, people automatically do that. But a lot of these games, they when it comes down to like just online games and how people like go about cheating, whatever you want to say, a lot of them already say that they don't trust it because of shooters. They say that a lot of people are using soft aimbot already to play the game, stuff like that. The only way to do it is real competition. So people embarrassing themselves in real tournaments, which actually does happen.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Another thing too this is what it was that I wanted to bring up. Like I feel like integrating it into the game would be a good idea, but the thing is about League of Legends is that they're actually going, I feel like, the opposite route of that, which is they're trying to like create way better cheat detection software.
True.
That is because then I think this was in the beginning of this month, they announced that League was going to start using Vanguard, which is the Valorant software for anti-cheat. So it's at the kernel level. I don't know what the fuck that shit means, but it's real deep in your shit. Like, to the point where if you wanted to launch League and that shit wasn't launched on startup, you have to restart your computer and restart it with this thing started on launch. Now, would they ever get to the point where like, hey, we're not only gonna be at the kernel level, we're gonna like get real deep into your computer's guts and figure out what monitor you're running, figure out the settings that it's on, XYZ. Like, I think they would rather go that route than being like, oh, if cheating's gonna be a problem, we're just gonna make cheating a part of the game. And who knows? But I think that they would rather like invade our privacy before they're like, yo, we're gonna make cheating easier, or we're gonna make this we're gonna get strong armed into adding this as a feature to the game.
Yeah, I hear it. I'm just like, damn. Like, it's like people are coming up with so many more ways to be a bum. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't just learn the fucking game. I'm like, dog.
No.
Like, you really want clips that bad? Like, you really want clips that bad?
Yes. I don't think you understand how bad it is.
Dog.
Yes.
Dog, it's crazy.
Some monitors even have. Some monitors already even have like crosshair placements that you can put like.
Yeah, I seen them too.
Settings.
I seen those too.
That's how much. They'd be funny because I'd be seeing, like, I used to see no scope videos and be like, whoa, they're crazy. How they hit this shit? How they know that?
No, they got a big ass decal on their monitor that we can't see. I'm like, all right, bro.
Yeah, rip to those fucking those CS:GO montages. Like, now I just be looking at them like, oh, bro, you had a crosshair on your monitor. No way.
Wildin', but you know, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. But moving on to a bit lighter news, you know what I'm saying? We just got some new reveals and some little looks here. We got some Metal Gear Solid coming into Fortnite. We got the Raiden skin, a bunch of Raiden stuff that's coming through for Metal Gear Solid 2. Sons of Liberty? Am I tweaking? Am I right with that? The Sons of Liberty?
That is Sons of Liberty.
Yeah. And then I think there's more Snake skins. I think it was another Snake skin that was coming through.
I think it's Solid Snake, and then it's Old. Well, I can't remember if his name is actually Old Snake, but it's Old Snake. From Metal Gear Solid 1 and then Metal Gear Solid 4.
Yes. So there's a bunch of stuff coming in from that front. How y'all feel about that?
I downloaded. I already have Fortnite downloaded. I just made sure it's updated because I'm gonna have to tap back into Battle Royale. There's no way I'm missing the snake skins, man.
Hey, man, they keep winning. They keep winning. It's like this is standard now. This is crazy. Do you know this game got announced like for the first time like what 2014, 15? A long ass time ago. And then they're doing this. They got Solid Snake in their game just chilling. Should make no sense to me.
Crazy. It's a nice addition. I mean, it makes sense. So that's really all it is. Like for those fans that love that game, they're just gonna buy the skins.
Yes, I am.
Yes,
I absolutely will.
That's crazy. Somebody from what's it called? Somebody who loves PlayStation All Stars can have basically all the PlayStation All Stars in Fortnite and make that game in a creator mode instead of play PlayStation All Stars, which is hilarious, by the way. I just want to let people know that's hella funny that PlayStation will not have any current title like that, but they could do it in Fortnite, baby. You could do it in Fortnite. So that's rich. That is honestly rich, man. I just can't wait to sneak around and, you know what I'm saying, creep around in cardboard boxes. That's all I need. That's all I need. All right. Moving on to a little bit of tech news here. We had just, I guess, an introduction from Disney on some technology, and they announced like a Holotile floor. So basically, if you see this video, it's like, again, somebody's walking on like a floor where they're kind of like walking in place that helps simulate stuff in real time, AR, VR type of stuff. And it's kind of setting that standard of, you know, what the flooring could be like. So you could be like running through a whole environment and not really move anywhere with that type of stuff. You know, taking the next step. I guess the application of it and just your first impression, Kendall.
Great. So they made something so that somebody can walk through Disney World's park virtually.
Basically,
yeah, that's basically what they're probably gonna do.
Well, so instead of someone showing me something cool, they showed me the fact that they could walk through a park. Seek help if you're doing that. Yes, this is really cool. Outside of that, but is the average person gonna be able to pay for this?
Absolutely.
That's the real question.
I can't pay for regular floors, nigga. What do you?
If I wanted to be walking around floors wobbly like this, I'll pay for a case of beers. That'll get me to this level. Hey, without having to install anything.
Couple Modelo's will do the trick, boy. I tell you that, but I'll be all right.
Couple brewskis.
You know, just the libations, brother. But I will say again, from a optimistic perspective, this is actually pretty cool. Like again, I feel like that's one of the things with me where I haven't been like I haven't been fully sold on like the VR or AR stuff because I'm like you're setting the space in real time and then you're kind of operating within that space. Yeah, some of it is still pretty immersive, of course, but just the walking part where it's like you're gonna hit an edge at some point and you're gonna be like, oh shit, you know what I'm saying? Like there's still something to really keep you, I guess, rooted to like the limitations of what current VR and AR technology is now. So from an application standpoint, this looks super cool. But from an execution, what they're going to do with it, of course you're going to walk through freaking Main Street of Magic Kingdom. You know what I'm saying? First thing. I want to see, let me know when the actual games drop for this and then we'll talk. You know what I mean? Let me see. Let me get a Crisis. Let me get a Crisis, you know what I'm saying, 4 or whatever, a Crisis reboot. And I can just run around like that. I advise people, just don't be drunk doing this. Just don't be drunk. That's all I'll say. We did talk about libations. Don't be drunk doing this, bro, because you are going to absolutely injure yourself.
But that's the Disney experience.
Oh.
My issue is this is like the Wii era when like they were like, yeah, you got to move the controller to play the game, and I'm just like, kind of, I don't want to move to play the game. Like I would like to sit down.
I think this shit would be sick in like a library, not a library, in like, well, a library maybe, but like in a museum, like something like that,
definitely.
like or in an art installation. Oh man, I would be like, yeah, I would love to walk through feudal Japan with the VR headset in the weird like floor that moves. Like that shit's hard. That'd
be dope. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, no, all right, but interesting tech nonetheless. Moving on, jumping off of the tracks of the tech news and moving into some creator news that just happened earlier today. We got a few announcements from Twitch. After, you know what I'm saying, a topsy-turvy start to the year. They're announcing some changes on their partner program. Their Partner Plus and all stuff like that. They had 3 different announcements that came with it. First, they're going to expand the Partner Plus program to give more streamers access to the revenue shares and the paid program. So they're changing, you know, saying some things around. They eliminated the 100K cap for 70/30 net revenue share recipients. And apparently they're changing the Prime Gaming subscription payout model to a fixed rate for each country. So again, they're changing some of these, the revenue shares for Partner Plus program. Level 1, you get 60/40 with 100 plus points. Level 2, new, you get a 70-30 split with 300 plus points. And again, the 100K cap is gone. So there's actually, you can get more revenue from that. And yeah, just a whole lot of changes to that revenue structure. A lot of people are giving it some praise and stuff. Again, a lot of people are also kind of lamenting where Prime Gaming might go. But how'd you feel about some of these changes that they're providing to the revenue structure?
I felt like I stream on YouTube, and this has nothing to do with marketing. I think it's cool. I think it's weird because they just like offloaded a lot of people, and now they're like, nah, but you can make more money. And I'm like, like what the fuck's going on here? I'm still confused about like what exactly is happening with Prime. I don't use none of it, and I don't. You can't sub to me on Twitch, so like. To me, this is cool for like a lot of people who are trying to, make streaming more viable for their living. But every time Twitch gives us an inch, they take a mile, is what it feels like with them. So I'm really, really like concerned about what the future holds. I would hope that this seems to be somewhat positive, but I've never walked away from like a Twitch update and been like, wow, that was awesome, and didn't regret to say that after like a month or two.
Because it's not positive.
You know what I'm like? That's okay. So like,
because it's not positive. And the reason why I like, as somebody that streams on Twitch, somebody that's been streaming on Twitch for a while, one, it means that people aren't making the thresholds for subscribers anymore. That's my biggest thing I've noticed, is that either like it's very top heavy, which means that like you have the people at the top, which is perfectly fine. They've worked hard, whatever you want to say. But I feel like the incentive to sub to every single channel just doesn't make as much sense as it used to. So like when it comes down to it, a lot of people used to get it from gift subs. How do you hit Partner Plus? Even if you're an 1,000+ streamer, like, you have 1,000 subs, how do you hit 350 if a majority of things are gift subs? So even if you bring it back down, it means that a lot of people aren't hitting that threshold. So they're trying to open the threshold even more, which means that nobody's hitting it, which is a small percentage.
No, that's a really good perspective.
No, don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to shit on Twitch or whatever, but it's a great move. But like, if you look at it from a wider perspective, you can definitely see that means, oh wow, somebody be like, oh, that's nice. No, it just means that not a lot of people are hitting it.
Yeah.
No, that's actually a really good way of looking at it, because like I think a lot of people view Twitch very individualistically, right? Like, instead of viewing it as to like, oh, they did this to help us all because like I'm not hitting it, so like now I can possibly hit it. Like when you look at it from a bigger perspective of like, why would they give us something like this? Like, yeah, maybe it is because like as a whole, a lot of people are not reaching these numbers. And I also wonder if like, because of a lot of the exodus of a lot of big top 1.0001% of streamers,
a lot of those contracts ended.
Yeah. Like a lot of motherfuckers really, they're not a lot of more people on Twitch, so they're just kind of like trying to bring to reel in that ceiling that was the top 1% and like condense it.
What's his name already said it. He said that they're trying to make Twitch profitable. You can find the quote,
Dan Clancy.
You can find it anywhere. Like, it's not, as I said, I like Twitch, but if I look at that as personally as like even a new creator, I would tell you to go find somewhere else. Like, use it just for fun, and that's really it. That's my opinion.
I agree, and just especially coupled with some of the news about, just the strategy behind Twitch. And again, I'm still gonna use Twitch. I still think Twitch has value as a platform, of course, but I feel like just if you're brand new, you got to find a way to diversify past it. If you put all your eggs in the basket of Twitch, alone, you're not gonna find, sustainable success, in my opinion, because of the way a lot of things are modeled. Again, they saying the prime growth strategy is like collabing with other people. If you're a new streamer who doesn't know anybody, that's already like a mountain to climb with the human element of things. And that's
be honest with you.
Yeah,
that was a bad take also, because you can say that on any platform.
Yeah, you literally could. And it's just the most exposed in Twitch because it's a live format, but that could be applied anywhere. That's true. But again, I feel like with Twitch, it's the most applicable thing because outside of that, there's no VOD content. The shorts thing is still kind of like the highlight stuff is still kind of getting there. I haven't seen it be as prominent. You know what I'm saying? So that's like route one. That's route one. But you can do it for every platform. But for Twitch, it's like, oh, you know what I'm saying? You want those methods or whatever. This is probably option A or 1A or 1B or something like that. So we couple this with the changes, and yeah, and again, we talked about this from a while back, but yeah, Prime Gaming, the Prime sub is going to disappear very, very soon. That shit is not going to be here for very long. Honestly, Kendall and I talked about this. I don't remember how long ago it was, but I know for sure that joint will not be here. Probably by, honestly, I give it to like end of next year. Probably end of next year. That's like late summer. They'll be like, all right, let's get it out of here.
They want to.
Mm-hmm.
They want to.
They know. They're like, yo, this is too much value. Let's get to scoot this on, man. We gotta tighten up these margins. But again, all in an effort to be in the black and in the green. So we'll see what's up for them. We'll see what's up with them. Pushing forward here, we had a story about Cyberpunk and CD Projekt Red. We had some reports come on all over the place, namely from Reuters, that CD Projekt Red was looking to start that production phase. They're looking at the different projects and stuff like that. They're looking at Cyberpunk though, and they're considering that multiplayer elements could be in the Cyber 2077 sequel. So multiplayer in some format may be coming to Cyberpunk 2077, the next edition of it. So, I mean, when? I know you're not the biggest, Cyberpunk supporter, but how do you feel about some of these changes?
This doesn't really strike me as a game that I would want to play with other people. And I know me and you always have this back and forth for like, you'd be like, nah, just let me play with the homies. And I'm kind of just like, nah, fuck the homies. I just like, I see certain like I like Skyrim. The only reason I would want to play Skyrim multiplayer is because I already did everything I needed to do in Skyrim, and I'm like, sure, I'll play. I'll get more life out of this. I don't really like forced multiplayer shit in games, and if they're looking at something like multiplayer in terms of like GTA Online multiplayer, I would hate that. If it's looking for like a co-op thing, maybe if the story like needs it, but there are certain ways of like including people in your game without having to make like a whole multiplayer aspect of it. And the reason I say this is because a multiplayer game and a single player game are very fucking different, and you have to like build them differently. And maybe making this game multiplayer or giving it a multiplayer component will ruin the beauty and the fun of the game. Like for example, I saw somebody jump out of a car in Cyberpunk and slow time down, right, to do some shit. If I'm playing with you and you start slowing time down, do I move slower? Am I going to be moving slow as well? Like I got to wait up every time you do that. Like it might fuck up my flow. Maybe I don't want to use the slow down time shit. Like it's just small things like that. Are they going to nerf things to make multiplayer better, to make it more like scaled down? Like, like there's just a lot that goes into it. And I don't think that this really needs a multiplayer sequel. Maybe a multiplayer DLC. And if that shit is good, why not just make a separate game, instead of having to like make it in the main one? But I don't really know much about the game because I haven't played it yet. When that bitch hits $30 for the game and the DLC, damn well I'll cop it. But until then, I'm gonna hold out on my money. I hope the best for the Cyberpunk fans.
That was as measured as you could put a response on Cyberpunk. You know what I'm saying? I'm proud of you.
And 2024, we're trying to be more positive.
I'm dead. But all right, Kendall. So looking at Cyberpunk again, and you're kind of, I guess, pensioned. I feel like normally you're just like, single player. You keep it cool. You'll, what I'm saying, you do your things, but you'll dabble. You know what I'm saying? You'll dabble. You have some good mixes if the game is right for multiplayer stuff. I guess, would multiplayer make sense for Cyberpunk?
Personally, I didn't play the game, but it makes sense because they want more money. They put too much on the project, and they probably need more out of it. And they see that they have a decent amount of player base, probably people that probably because it's a very replayable game, right?
Yeah. I yes.
So they probably see that with the success of like, GTA, they're probably looking at how can we actually make a world where we can get more people to interact with each other. And I'm going to be honest, it's just another way to keep their game alive. Is it a good thing? Probably not, because sadly you can't just let the game be the game and then that be it. But as one said, if they did it for their own separate thing or made a different game, but to be honest, I don't think they want to build everything from the ground up again.
Yeah, no,
Hell
they
no.
would not.
Oh my goodness,
So-
they would actually cry. I don't think they would want to go back to that.
So it's like one of those things. Like I know somebody like when like genuinely, yes, I could see that ruining your experience of the game. I understand that. Like as somebody that's watched you like go about your thought process of games. But for a lot of other people, they're probably looking like, oh, this could be dope. Like it could be another expansion. And if it fails, it fails. If it like it might be bad for the actual company, but for the players, it's just gonna be like, oh, another failed project. Okay, cool. When's the next update DLCs for story?
Yeah.
Yeah. My stance on it is, again, I'm always been a proponent of co-op gaming. I think multiplayer in terms of like an online, like a lobby system multiplayer matches, more of a like akin to like a what's it called, an Uncharted mode or something like that, where it's like multiplayer attached. Don't do that. I do not care for that in any sense of the word or form when it comes to Cyberpunk. Now, co-op does pique my interest. I think having some type of kind of like either offshoot or dedicated like missions or dedicated, you know what I'm saying, sections of the story or the game where you can call in or kind of, you know, cross wires on a connected story. Like everybody's on their path doing their thing, you know what I mean? But you can have these portions of a story where you can call in, maybe somebody else do co-op missions or have a string of tasks and objectives that you can do with your friends in a co-op setting. I think there's some value in that for Cyberpunk. And of course there's a business drivers, but I don't want to talk about that because I think Kendall pretty much covered that. They want to make more money, bro. It's multiplayer shit. You want to make more money for this shit. You know what I'm saying? Basics. But I think from the gameplay standpoint, Cyberpunk is a really, really big world, and can you fit, like, you know, say like again a multiplayer in the form of GTA? You know what I'm saying? Like kind of like a heist. You know what I'm saying? Like a heist in that sense, not like a whole open lobby where you can explore the world together, but maybe more contained experiences where it's maybe just the heist itself. Maybe you have a planning session or whatever, or you need certain extra bodies to come in and on your save or between different points. Maybe that could be a fair, valuable way for them to introduce multiplayer elements. But to go full out, have multiplayer like shootouts and TDM and all that, nah. This game does not need that. A sequel will definitely not need that. The sequel, you know, whatever that's in motion fully, that just needs to be focused on how much enriching gameplay, how much refinement in the bugs and optimization and stability, and how much of the, again, just the story can you really build on top of from what you already said in Cyberpunk 2077, what you've gotten back to after rounds of crazy, you know what I'm saying, comeback after, you know what I'm saying, barely being able to launch the damn game. So is there room for a multiplayer in co-op specifically? I think so, but that's where they need to focus if they're going to think about bringing anything multiplayer to the game. Co-op only. If it's just past that, dead it. It's not worth it, in my opinion. I don't think it's going to be valuable enough from an optimization and just value standpoint to bring in a full-blown multiplayer. If there's co-op elements that you can weave in, cool. I think there's value there, but outside of that, you know, probably not. At best. No, actually, at its simplest, like an arena mode, like co-op arena mode, where you just take out a bunch of random different enemies across the game and stuff like that. That's pretty simple. That's like a horde mode attachment or something like that. That can be fair enough. But yeah, there's just a lot of things to consider with it. I would say be careful and be very, very decisive. I do not want you to tout something and then stuff ends up like Last of Us Factions where it doesn't even come to pass. So measure twice, cut once. That's all I got to say on that. Moving on here to Suicide Squad killed the Justice League. This feels like an effort to secure the bag earlier, try and get as much people in after, you know what I'm saying, the flack and then the buzz and then the controversy and all that stuff like that. I think the final dev diary kind of episode for the game dropped. Rocksteady did drop some details on post-launch content. They said the first DLC season, which is going to be all free, is coming in March and will feature an Otherworlds version of the Joker as a playable character. It's going to have new boss fights, new variants of enemies that are coming through as well, some new weapons, I believe a bunch of new Riddler content and activities, a new playable environment in the Daily Cackle, which is I'm pretty sure it's the Daily Planet just repurposed in, you know, the Joker's image. And again, some notes on future seasons, you know, 2 through 4 with playable characters, playable environments, all that apparently will be free. So I mean, Kendall, going to you first. How you feel about them trying to, you know what I'm saying, just kind of take an early shot and say, hey, we got free stuff coming, y'all?
I hope it's worth it. Like I hope it's really worth, like, you know, just destroying everything from the past. just to make a new stories and bring it up. I know this Joker is from a different universe. I understand that, but you've had like a whole continuous story like from like the Arkhamverse and everything like that. Outside of it, bro, I hope it works. I really do. Like, I hope all of this works. I hope it gets people to possibly play the game. But with everything I'm seeing, it just seems like, why did they try so hard?
Yeah. Yeah. No, you're right. It sucks that this game, man. If you would have told me when this game got announced that I would hate it by the time it was gonna get released, I would have been like, bro, you're lying to me. It's just gonna be gas. This is gonna be the next addition to the thing, and it just did not hit the mark. And I don't even really want to blame Rocksteady because I don't know how much like
You're right.
power. Because I genuinely think it's WB. These people have literally been making bad decisions for quite literally. I want to say like half a decade. I want to say like the last 5 years. It's just been a bunch of bad decisions by them, and it's just like I see this game and I'm like, damn, this could have been one of because I'm such a big DC fan, and I probably will still play this game if it's free or somehow I'm able to get a hold of it without having to pay money for it. Like I'll still play it because I genuinely enjoy DC. Like I have Gotham Knights, not the best game, but I've gone through a good amount of it just because I'm a fan of the space, and it's kind of sad to see how the mighty have fallen. You know, at one point Batman was synonymous with amazing games. Like that motherfucker was like on the level of like Kratos.
Yes.
Like you see Batman, you don't even think comics, you think video games, and if you're a movie head, you think movies. But those Arkham games were absolutely top tier.
Yes.
And now we are nowhere near that with the way things are going. So like I want to say like I really wish I could be like, yo, I want to blame Rocksteady, but I don't know if this was Rocksteady's intention. I really wish like, you know, the NDAs, whenever the NDAs break or the people leave the company and they actually finally start talking about these kind of things like, hey, publishers fucked this over.
Didn't they? Didn't like a group of people from Rocksteady actually like a couple of weeks after actually like announced that they were making a new studio?
Yeah, the two founders of Rocksteady actually. So they are forming a new studio.
But like even then, that doesn't necessarily to me. Like I don't want to see like, oh, I'm just leaving to do a new studio, because people do that all the time with games that they love. Like Bethesda, a bunch of Bethesda people left and made their own companies. What I'm saying more so is like I want to know specifically. I want the villain to be named. Really, is what I want to happen. I want the people who work, and they will never do it because these people sign their checks. But I want people to like leave this environment, and then I hear, hey, these people fucked over Suicide Squad. This was the plan for Suicide Squad. This is how all of that changed. The same way we are now hearing about all the things that happened with Warner Brothers movies, because a lot of those people are no longer there, and like other people are now in charge. Like, hey, Warner Brothers fucked over Batgirl the movie, and this is why they suck. I want to hear that, but on the gaming side, what the fuck did y'all do to this game? Because I'm blaming y'all until I find out Rocksteady was the one who decided to propose this idea.
That's fair. I had to ask a question though. Like, you know how we were just talking about CD Projekt Red and everything with like them making a multiplayer game?
Yeah.
That's how I feel about this game right here, because for me personally, Suicide Squad to me isn't something small, right? You don't just like throw around Suicide Squad. Cool, they could use guns, but like I'm wondering why this couldn't have been more of like a story driven thing, even to the point of like a Guardians of the Galaxy, if I'm even wrong, like how that game worked. Like, why couldn't that have been that?
I mean, that's a great question, and that's why I feel like it has to be publisher. Because
let's ask Warner Brothers. Let's ask Warner Brothers what they think.
True.
It has to be, because the thing is that, like, I understand that a game like that will not. I mean, look at Guardians of the Galaxy. That shit was free on Epic last Christmas. Like, I get it. That shit did not move the needle in terms of margins, but it moved a lot of. When you release Guardians of the Galaxy 2, it will benefit because more people are gonna buy that day one, right? And I think that that's a lot of the problems with publishers or some publishers, because I'll even go as far as to saying like this is the same thing that happened with Riot. Riot made freaking the Riot Forge games. I think the first one to come out was not Legends of Runeterra. Damn, I cannot remember the name of this game. But a lot of Riot shut down Riot Forge, I want to say last week or something like that.
Yeah.
And a lot of those games were very fucking new when they first dropped. Like I want to say the first one dropped last year. Like, and the fact that these people after 1 year of the games not selling a bajillion copies, they're kind of just like, yeah, it's not profitable for us, so we're just actually gonna cut all the games that we had. Yeah, Ruined King dropped in 2021. So it's 2024. They after 3 years, they're like, well, the 4 or 5 games we made that were all indie games priced at less than $30 didn't make us a boatload of fucking money, so we're gonna cut our losses. And it's not these games. It's an investment that will grow over time. If I played Suicide Squad, if I played Guardians of the Galaxy 1 and I enjoyed it, let's say I bought it on sale or I got it for free. When the second game comes around, I'm way more likely to do it. It's the long game, but a lot of publishers don't want the long game because Fortnite didn't play the long game. Fucking Apex didn't play the long game. Overwatch didn't play the long. These games came out, had fucking nasty ways of getting money out of you, and then these big companies cashed out. And now they're like, "Oh, I want to recreate that." Well, instead of making Suicide Squad a good 3-game fucking process where we get some sick stories, some cool acting, yada yada yada, instead, let's hoe this bitch out, get all the money out of these people as we can, and then at the end of it all, shut that shit down a year later because it's just cheaper that way.
Yeah, yeah. It's a matter of perspective in this spot, man. And again, I feel like we're in such a monetization priority type of state, if that's the best way to word it at this point in time, where these publishers and these studios are going to do what they can to get the most money. That's why we see these waves. You know what I'm saying? When PUBG came out, after that, everybody's doing a battle royale, and the scene was never the same because we knew that was a crazy way for people to get money like that. It's free, the barrier to entry is like that, and somebody's gonna figure out a way to make something happen. You know what I mean? Like for sports games, you know what I'm saying? Once the packs started coming into the fray in early 2000, whenever they came through, 2010, 2009 or some shit like that, and then it started going crazy. The loot box era. There's always these moments from a commercial standpoint in games that is gonna push everybody else to go one way. And every time this has happened, games have taken a hit in the respective long-term consideration for enjoyment for players. You know what I mean? Toleration is another thing. People are going to play whatever out of just straight whatever. If nostalgia hits their brains or whatever, they just want to stick with it. They can't branch out to anything else. But in the long run, they'll know that this series got worse because of this. This series got worse because of the free-to-play model. But I still play it, whatever. There's no actual long-term, loyalty or common enjoyment from these things. And I feel like there's no long game anymore for a lot of these companies. There's no long game. There is how can we get to this dollar as quick as possible with as much security and confidence as possible. That's the strategy now. There's no how can we build this up over X amount of years to where people like the series, we can get our money's worth, but we got to build it right so we'll get the right amount of return. You know what I'm saying? We can tip the scales or something like that. There's not that anymore. It's just cut to the money. It's cut to the chase for a lot of these games, and they're taking hits. We're getting to a breaking point with a lot of that stuff to where gamers are slowly gonna not tolerate it. You know what I'm saying? If all these series who have yet to prove themselves are going to try and jump on the train that a lot of these established franchises have done, they're going to get thrown to the wayside because they only have enough bandwidth for the bullshit on those known titles. If everybody starts doing it, somebody's not getting on the boat. That's all that is. People have to really start thinking about quality in the gaming space, especially from a publisher standpoint. Because I don't think devs are going to want to be like, yo, let's get this free-to-play model that usually spooks players. Let's put that shit in there. Day one, let's get in there. Let's let them pay for some extra microtransactions. Let's do it, man. I don't think developers do that. I don't think it's a developer's best, first instinct to say, how can we make players pay for this game? I don't think that's what they first think of. So this is more of onus on the publishers to rethink what's going on for their short-term consideration and their long-term success in terms of profits, in terms of, again, brand recognition and brand connotation, and how they survive in an environment where there's a thin and the line between that bullshit gets thinner and thinner. In that type of environment, how do they operate? So we'll see, man. But I hope the best. I really hope the best for Suicide Squad. I really do want to enjoy it. I really do. This man.
I hope it failed.
I swear he said it was good. I hope it does okay. He started out his statement saying, "Yo, I hope they do okay." Now, no. We're gonna run that back, bro. If you see that early in the footage, bro, please tell me I'm wrong. Please tell me I'm not wrong. Oh my gosh. Insane, bro. All right, we can roll to this story here before we get into the main courses. So the Dragon's Dogma 2 developers, they had a whole tiff, you know what I'm saying, in the midweek talking about fast travel. Talking about just the issue with open world games and fast travel and what it may be. And, there was an interesting perspective that the devs provided on the game. And I think some of the quotes I'm paraphrasing here was, if you have fast travel in your game, that means your game is boring. There was a lot of, detracting statements from fast travel. And, their kind of their mindset was, we want you to have less fast travel to enjoy more of the game in it. You know what I mean? They're saying, it's convenient, but, they wanted to restrict fast travel. You know what I mean? They said I think the quote here was, from, I think it was Kinoshita. He said, quote, I guess we wanted there to be a cost to shortening a long distance in a way that strongly mirrors in the real world too. There are a lot of rules in real life that are needed to make a system possible, and ignoring those rules makes things seem less realistic or less valuable. So they wanted to, really focus on the environment, the scenery, you walking through it at that point. So I guess with their thoughts on fast travel, we'll go to you first. How you feel about it?
Two games. Red Dead Redemption 2, Final Fantasy 15. Both of these games had fast travel. But both of these games also had a way of you traversing the map in a very chill way. In Red Dead Redemption 2, if you hold X and you turn your game on cinematic camera, and I think you hold X on your horse, the character will just follow the path to where you need to go.
Yep.
Right. So that way, I used to use this all the time because I'd be texting my girlfriend when I'm playing the game, XYZ, or I'd just be on TikTok because I'm still playing the game now. I'm almost done beating it. And a lot of the times it makes me not really need fast travel because what's the point of doing all that when I could just set my game to do that? Now, if you're somebody who has I also have ADHD, sometimes I just want to get there quick. Fast travel is cool, but I also agree where there are times where I'm playing Red Dead Redemption and I'm walking to the spot and something cool happens or I see something dope or I'm like, oh, is that a legendary whatever or what have you? There's just a bunch of reasons why you should play the game. And I think back to Skyrim, all the times that I walk around and there's something to do there. Of course, that falls on the game to have something to do. I think that's also something that needs to be said. Don't make me have to walk in a dead environment for 3 hours because you don't want me to fast travel. If there isn't much to do, then yeah, definitely let me fast travel. Or and I don't think fast travel being omitted from a game is the best idea either, because sometimes we don't really have time to traverse the whole map. I need to go back there. I am willing to miss out on some cool shit to get to where I'm going because I don't have a lot of time to play or whatever. But
yeah.
That's really where I stand with it, is if you have a reason, if you make it easy for me to traverse the landscape without having to do much, because I love the car in Final Fantasy 15, you can just have somebody else drive it and you can just enjoy the scenery, enjoy everything that's going on without having to actually play the game, or just holding one button and the game kind of plays itself and then you get to go on your phone, check the wiki or whatever it is.
Yeah, and just to clarify, the big quote that did come from the story was, "Oh, travel is boring. That's not true. It's only an issue because your game is boring." That was the big quote that came from them on this front. So Kendall, travel is boring. We don't need that much fast travel. I guess from Dragon Dogma's 2 perspective, how do you feel about that stance?
I guess I don't need their game. Excuse me? Bro, I'm going to be honest with you. The only travel system I look at and be like, wow, I don't need to use fast travel is because I'm Spider-Man.
Yep.
What? Bro, okay, as I said, it's not that big of a deal because I just won't buy the game. That's really the biggest thing. But I'm going to say this for myself. These open world games are way too big. There's no need for you not to make it hard. Fine. If you want to make it hard to get to the next fast travel point, perfectly fine. You know what? As I build up the game, I get more spaces to fast travel to. That's normal. I know that's normal. But why is that a big deal?
It's interesting to me because, again, A part of
I
me.
didn't play a video game to travel.
Hey, the Death Stranders do not agree with that statement. Shout out to all my porters.
Wow. Shouts to all the porters, you know what I'm saying, dropping off packs. You know what I'm saying? Legally and illegally. But listen, all I'm saying is this. I get that I get the stand why they would have that stance. I get they'd say, like, okay, you want to have fast travel because your game has nothing in between, blah blah blah. You just want to have quick points. But on the other hand, if you're gonna force my hand and make me travel to all this way, there are gonna be instances where I'm gonna have less incentive to continue or explore the game because it is a risk to fast travel, or it's a risk to fast travel. So I'm only going to try and stay more on the beaten path because I don't know what resources I may have. You know what I mean? For people who may not have time in their week because they're dealing with the other games, life, work, family, etc., there may not be enough time in the day to get on the trail and, you know what I'm saying, and you know, saying just walk or go on a damn ox cart or whatever and walk through the countryside on the beaten paths and stuff, and maybe explore to get some more resources to unlock another fast travel point or some more resources to fast travel. I don't think there's enough time for that. So if you don't give me these fast travel points or give me them in abundance, I'm going to have less incentive to explore your game. And with that, there's the chance of I'm going to miss something that either you wanted me to see or that may be worth seeing that I didn't find. It's just the human nature of it. So it's like, that's not necessarily the case that if fast travel's in my game, that means your game is boring. That means you're giving me an option. You're giving me flexibility. That's what I'm saying. For me, if the game has a lot of fast travel points, like I'll get to a certain point, you know what I'm saying? If I'm exploring far that way, but I need to go back, you know, across the map or something like that, it's going to help me expedite it because I've already explored these parts before. I've already been familiarized with an area of land. And again, like Wen said before, if there's backtracking in the game, if there's a quest I need to go to that's back that way, I got to travel a literal, no pun intended, Fortnite to get from one ox to go all the way down this way. My fast travel resources only go this far. So I can't go back and forth and do what I need to do quickly in areas I already explored before. That's nonsense. That is nonsense to me. And it just makes no sense that you would put that much, I guess, just condemn games that do have fast travel to that degree. Again, because games can have a rich world where you do find secrets and do find things here and there, but they do have fast travel to give you flexibility. It's about player choice. If they don't explore it, that's on them. But I don't think forcing and shoehorning people into travel to see some things is necessarily the best route of action. Again, in this game, they described it. They said they're going to have all the carts and stuff like that. You'll have the fast travel points and you can travel by ox cart. And if you travel the roads, there's a chance you can get ambushed. Is it, you know what I'm saying? Like, and you have resources that you can expend, trying to spend fast travel points and all stuff like that. Similar to like the campfires or summoning players in Elden Ring exactly, or somewhat. But it's just that. It's like, if I'm going to have that much emphasis on like being scarce with what I'm spending to fast travel, maybe I'm just not going to, again, spend too much time on the beaten path anyways, or off the beaten path and explore. I'm just going to do what I need to do and get to the next spot. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I can take care of it afterwards because who knows what's going to happen in the game. It depends on how much time people have. I just think there's a happy medium to be struck. You know what I'm saying? Yes, there are games where if there's fast travel, that means your game might be a little bit empty. And I understand and I can agree with that. But there's also the fact of I don't want to be sitting in your wide world open ass game, sitting on a cart for 45 minutes, getting from one town to another. There's got to be some level of flexibility between the fast travel and the traveling and the world that you built in between. If you want people to experience a hardcore, cool, give them the option. But if there's fast travel and there's backtracking, there's all this extra stuff that's involved in the decision making or the path of you know what I'm saying, movement and the agency that people take over the game, then shit, you got to give them that option too. Or else, you know what I'm saying, people are going to hate the game because it takes too long to get through. Or there's no meat and potatoes in between for people to explore the world. So it's just funny to me that they're saying, oh, your game is boring because you have, you know what I'm saying, because you have travel in it or something like that, or travel's in it, or travel's boring and stuff. So, you know, people are like, oh yeah, this game is dead. That's not necessarily the case. So it's a weird one, but I don't think they're spot on with this. I disagree. All right. So with that, we can close the chapter on that shit right there. It's time to get into it, man. Let's talk about it. the main story for this week's episode, I mean, you all knew this was happening. If you have been living under a rock for the past probably week and change, Palworld has released into early access on Steam and Xbox, and it is nothing short of a worldwide smash hit, breaking records upon records, whether it be, again, 8 million copies in like several days. I think probably passed it by now. I think the last one was like, I think it was like 8 million in like 5 days or 6 days. It broke, I think it's the second most played game on Steam charts. It was like the second most concurrent players on Steam ever. It was 1.8 million or 1,850,000 about, compared to like, I think it was like Counter-Strike 1, which had like 3 million, which is insane. Passed up so many players, broke so many records, it had so much impact on, you know what I'm saying, on the world. Been memes, people getting arrested for some Pokemon mods all over the place. It's just going crazy right now. But there have been just a lot of stuff that's been happening in terms of the game's reception and impact on a more controversial front. So I want to start there. Before we get to our impressions of the game, I want to talk about the controversy, the AI allegations, the potential stealing of assets, the death threats, the plagiarism, you know what I'm saying, the crazy development and the, you know what I'm saying, the wild start that they had, which may have, you know, put some people in a certain mind frame to point the finger and say nothing you did is legitimate. And I just wanted to talk about the whole situation about them being accused of a lot of things that, you know what I'm saying, panned out to maybe not be the case. So Kendall, you're our guest. I want you to start. We brought you on here, you know what I'm saying, especially for this. So I want you to kick us off with the controversy part of the Palworld conversation, man. Just walk us through how you feel about that and what you've been seeing.
So I've paid attention to it from probably the beginning. Like I've been documenting a lot of it. And I have to say that one of the biggest things for me personally is how fast misinformation spreads. And I think that that's probably the most dangerous thing about this, because of the fact that, yes, the CEO is somebody that actually, you know, somewhat agreed with AI in the past or whatever it was. And they used that and ran with it and thought that he was actively using it for the game. It wasn't confirmed. There wasn't anything there. Nobody knows exactly what's going on. They thought that they stole models. Turns out the person that did it faked it the whole entire time. So I just find everything else weird about the situation, because I don't know why it's necessary to hate on the game so much. Like, if you just don't like it, just don't play it. But like, I feel like it hit a sour side because it came after a Nintendo game and actually was successful. I feel like this is the first like Nintendo-like game that has gone off of a Nintendo console and been as successful, in my opinion.
Oh man, when you want to jump in?
No, I think it's I agree with Kendall. I think it's kind of nasty. It's also just really sad from like the perspective of like as a like I can't imagine. It's like, for me, it felt like being a fan of like a basketball team. This basketball team has every single basketball star on the team, and then somebody else comes out and they're like, "Yo, this random's town in fucking Missouri actually has a pretty solid team. It would be cool to see how these two compete against each other." And then all the people on the team that has all the stars are like, "No, how dare you? Like, get away from me!" And it's also weird because the games really don't have that much in common. It's just the one little part. And as somebody who plays, survival games are probably top, like one of my most favorite genres. Every survival game I play, I kind of low key like, because as long as you get the certain aspects of it, it's always fun. So playing this game, the moment I started it up, I was like, "Oh, this shit is like Ark. This is barely Pokemon. It's just Ark where the dinosaurs or the pals do more work than the ones they do in Ark. But even in Ark, they do a lot of shit. So it's more so just like, hey, we just changed up the formula of Ark. If anybody should be mad, it should be Ark. That's the real people who should be looking at a lawsuit. But even then, Ark isn't looking at a lawsuit because they didn't fucking create civilization and all that shit. Like, it's not that fucking big of a deal. It's fine. I don't understand where the common man comes into play when it comes to these kinds of discussion. I really, really detest this idea that everybody needs to give their opinion, and I have to respect every single person's opinion, no matter their background or understanding of this shit. because none of these
No.
people make games. Some of these people barely buy games. They buy one game, and I'm like, why should I have this conversation with this random fucking One Piece avatar on my screen? Like, why do I gotta have these conversations with these randoms who only play one fucking genre, one game? Your opinion doesn't matter to me, because just because these things look similar, these characters, these monsters look similar to the other fucking monsters. Well, when you guys are using similar art styles, that's shit's gonna look similar. And I'm not sitting here defending the designs of some of these things, because some of them, I'm not gonna lie, is a little interesting, the choices y'all made. It is a little close. But if that was, there's a lot of motherfuckers, musicians who make songs that are very close to one another. We don't see us having pitchforks and sending death threats to motherfuckers who use the same flow, correct? We just say it's corny and move on, or we just don't support them. Or we do support them because they're doing the same flow that the other motherfucker's doing, but he's doing it better, with a better beat and a better fucking delivery. And that's the thing that's really, I think is really interesting, is that Nintendo isn't going to pay you at any point in time for this Twitter fight, you know? Just being a fan isn't going to get you in their better graces by being blind to the rest of the world. Like, grow up, really. It really comes down. Just grow up. If you really want to have a conversation about development and design choices when you can't even fucking draw a stick figure, who are you? What are we talking about here? Why are you so loud? Shut up.
Yeah, it's just the main thing about the controversy about this, and again, I want to echo Kendall's point, it's just misinformation and accountability in this state. It's a shame to see in the gaming space how things can spread so quickly when they're not even, one, vetted, two, fully fleshed out, and just it's just out in the open for people to see. Again, you can go right down to the whole thread of 114 or 121 pals to Pokemon comparison, and that goes there. Yes, there may be some similarities to the common man, but I'm waiting till authorities speak on that, till people actually speak on it. I'm gonna wait till that happens. The AI allegations come through. Oh, they used AI to repurpose these Pokemon and stuff like that. Blah blah blah. It's funny to note, because this is also something that, you know what I'm saying, that people didn't know beforehand, but and they probably should have if you're paying attention, because this game, every game in Steam, has to disclose whether they're using AI in some form or fashion in their games. They have to make that disclosure statement to Steam so Steam can make it to the players. That's a thing, and it didn't pop up for this. So that's clue number one of how that was just deaded, but nobody seemed to notice. Again, they took the comments from the guy in 2021 about his dabbling in support in AI, saying it could be a good look to include in game development. They took the notes of him just talking about it instead of actually implementing anything with some of the models and stuff like that. They look close. Apparently, there's a whole other thing about the assets who were apparently stolen or whatnot. Apparently, one person resized them on purpose to show the fake, you know what I'm saying? Show, there was a link between these two. They stole them, blah, blah, blah. There was a link. They just repurposed them. The dude who made it, he forged all those repurposings just to show, you know what I'm saying, just to show that the game is fake. And he did it all for the purpose of, he said he's disgusted, or the person said they're disgusted by how much Palworld glorifies animal abuse. So again, animal abuse is a whole different topic. That's a whole different thing that we can talk about. But the fact that that person,
no, it's not.
Listen,
Please don't do this. Okay, Peter.
Listen, I don't want them on my ass. I don't know what they're gonna do to me. I ain't got no pets in my house. They can't touch me. Anyways, I'm just saying that they did that issue to push their agenda through without any vet, and nobody vetted the information. Nobody said nothing. They just took it and ran a mile with that. And they say, yo, this is fake AI. It's all over, bro. I can't support this game because it got AI. And I'm looking, people are already making decisions on this game. And I'm like, all right, cool. I'm going to wait till some facts come out, because I don't know what to make of this. I'm a hold stuff as is. But if something happens, I'll change based on the information that is revealed. And it was revealed by, again, industry people. The people who, again, gave up the game themselves because the facade was up, and they said, yo, it's just animal abuse, blah, blah, blah. Several people of some reputable standard said, yo, they didn't do this. You know what I'm saying? And Steam themselves, and Steam policy itself verify that there's no AI stuff in there. So that argument's dead. But still, people were still carrying forward. Like, this has been like the whole, again, like just this death of the century type of thing, bro. And people was comparing the situation to Hogwarts Legacy. They were saying, oh, white supremacists is defending this game. I'm like, it just went into this whole nonsensical spiral. And I'm just like, bro, do y'all read? Can you guys read? Can you read? Just give me the alphabet, you know what I'm saying? Front and back, 26 letters, and then go into some sentences. Can you read green eggs and ham front to back? Like, it baffles me how many people provided so many definitive, judgmental, you know what I'm saying, final takes on the game without having any sense of full information, not even close to full information. Because in all honesty, we might never have full information without the accounts of the actual people who developed this game and if they provide the truth. That's true. But if any type of authority can speak on it and provide some definitive perspective that is actually worthwhile, could we wait for that? Could we wait it? No, nobody could have in this space because they just want to run. They want to rush to the engagement. They want to rush to whatever opinion or whatever thing they want to stand on, whatever buzzwords I can throw in there. I don't want to throw that bullshit in there, but you get the point. It's just crazy how the lack of accountability for a lot of people speaking on this was just rampant. It's wild. Just from the engagement farmers, from the Nintendo fanboys, you know what I'm saying, the Nintendo drones, all y'all was just sliding all up and down the Nintendo D, you know what I'm saying, just trying to provide saying, oh, it's just lazy, oh, it's AI, blah blah. All these things trying to detract the game just because it's successful. Got me stumbling over my damn words, bro. Where was y'all going this hard for Temtem? Where was y'all? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It just baffles me how much people went up for this, and it's like, and it's a Nintendo syndrome, bro. This is Nintendo's fault. I said this earlier, and you can jump in on this, Kendall. But it's the fact that Nintendo keeps their process of games so sheltered, so I guess just under the spell of their control, that the people supporting it cannot see the grass is green on the other side. They've been indoctrinated into thinking something else. You know what I'm saying? Like a Palworld. If it even like feels remotely close to what Pokemon is doing, it's a negative. They gotta get it out. They gotta root it out. Blah blah blah. But it's funny because Palworld and the success of Palworld is Pokemon's fault. It is, in my opinion. Because if you sit there and you rest on your laurels for so long with a series that has, again, pretty much stagnated overall, you know, some performance things here and there. Arceus was a good up, but it's not taking it to the places that a lot of fans have wanted it to go. You know what I'm saying? Really full scale, or again, a Pokemon MMO, something that was discussed for a while. A lot of these things that could branch out the perspective and the horizons of what Pokemon actually could be. They have not done that. They haven't done a tenth, 100, most of what we want. They haven't even looked that way. Spat in that direction. Here, take another one we're working on, bruh. It's unoptimized. Take that. Hold that. And now we see that something that doesn't even really play like Pokemon, but just got the label of it. Oh, you know what I'm saying? Oh, Pokemon with guns, blah blah blah. But it's a survival game with monster tamer elements in it. That's really the boil of it. But just because it ran too close in the lane of what Pokemon may look or feel like in a certain way, now everybody's like, oh, it's gotta die. Some of the detractors are like, it's gotta die, and that's why it got pushed to success so much. This is Nintendo's doing. They haven't realized the full potential of their lane if they actually tried to branch out. And other people who wanted to have an idea and actually, you know what I'm saying, capture an essence that Pokemon easily could have, another person's done it, and now they're reaping the benefits of it, and Nintendo's just sitting on their hands. So if you want to point fingers at anybody of why Palworld is so wildly successful and why a game you don't like is up there, blame Nintendo for the fact that they couldn't cover the essence or a spirit of a game like this earlier in years past in some development. Blame them.
Yeah, that's I think that's something that like I chimed in on also, is the fact that I don't even want Pokemon to have guns. I don't need Pokemon, but it's the fact that like when Pokemon originally started, it was the fact that you were a kid from a town surviving in like, you know, just whatever, right? Mm-hmm. Like the show in itself, Ash going out, trying to survive, do all these different things. Facts. People said that, yo, off the cuff, this would be a cool idea for Pokemon. That's really it. Mm-hmm. Legends of Arceus, they did a little bit, but there's another bigger topic, and I think that, like, obviously, if you guys don't want to hit on it, I understand it. But I do think that there has to be a conversation of, like, what is good and bad AI? Because it feels like a lot of the conversation has now shifted to, like, oh, all AI is bad. Oh, this is art AI. And the thing is, these are corporations. I'm sorry to tell you at the end of the day. I believe that artists should get paid. I believe that there should be a human process a part of certain things. Yes. I do. But if anybody's going to cut corners, it's corporations.
They definitely will.
End of the story, right?
Mhm.
And as I said, if a company isn't telling you that they're doing it, then fine. But the companies you should be upset at are companies like Riot, who let go of some of their art processes. Other companies that have like completely destroyed them. For what reason do you think? AI.
Yeah.
Facts.
No, I agree. And it's funny because like one thing that I always try to because I have this like inner monologue about this conversation of AI because it's harmful but helpful. It's such an interesting thing because like you give AI to a random person who works at a 9 to 5, right? Like a random like cashier anywhere. They now have in the palm of their hands the ability to have a personal trainer, the ability to have a nutritionist, the ability to have all this information they ever wanted at their fingertips. Like even I myself, I used AI to make a workout schedule for myself, right? I don't have to go pay $80 to go work out with a dude every single time. Like it's like I have this. Now, mind you, is this little AI generated workout plan better than a personal trainer? Fuck no. There's no way it could possibly be. But it's just the ability to have information more readily available to you. I think for me personally, the conversation, I would say like text-based AI is fine for the average consumer when it gets to things like
generative.
like now I'm going to take your job. Like I'm going to make shit harder. But like if it's something like an assistant, like, hey, I need help looking up this or whatever, I think that's fine and dandy. And like, of course, this is a way bigger conversation. Like this could be like a fucking 3 to 4 hour long conversation. So, but like, just like to give an idea, when I see like this group of people who created this company to make these games, it's really hard for me to be angry at them when they use AI. When one, it's not in the games because they would have had to tell Steam. And I know a lot of people are probably thinking, well, what if they just fucking lied? If they fucking lied about using AI, not only would Steam be able to sue them, everybody who bought the game would be able to sue them. It would be so stupid of them it would be so stupid of them to lie that it would harm them. It's better for them to literally just not use it. Or the only thing I could possibly think of that the dude did was like maybe he used image AI to look up and be like, yo, what would a Pokemon that looks like holding a gun, what would that look like, right? Maybe he used that kind of AI, but if he's guilty for using that, none of us can really talk shit because I was doing the same shit earlier. A lot of people are using AI filters on their shit themselves. So it's like, if he's using it on his own personal time, how can we be fucking mad at that shit? We could be like, oh, it's a little scummy, but at the end of the day, that's on his time. He's not doing that shit. He's not taking jobs from nobody. He's just like, it helped him come up with a concept. And then he got his artists to draw the shit. And then he got the fucking developers to create the models. Like the jobs are still there. And again, we don't even know if he even did all of that. He just said, yo, this shit is kind of cool. So like, that's the kind of thing that annoys me about the whole AI conversation is that like it's not even something to talk about because it's not happening here, right? You can't really be mad at them for it. And if you want to talk about, oh, these motherfuckers are lazy, they just stole the design of a bunch of like the Pokemon games or whatever, or like this game is just it's lazy and sleazy. Like I'm not gonna lie to you, there's a bajillion different Souls games that literally use the same fucking HUD and the same placements and the same fucking like. There's so many of these games.
Go closer.
But like
Nintendo themselves.
You know, yeah, like you know what I'm saying? Like you can't like there are a lot of scummy practices, like, oh, they ripped off designs. You know what's scummy? Selling 1,000-Year Door because you guys refuse to just let people play it from the past. And we see that you could do it. You're like, instead of giving it to you for the online shit, we're gonna make you pay $60 fucking for an old game, or making me pay $60 for 3 old Mario games.
Oh, I'm about to say you didn't hit on it, and then not having the sequel for Mario Galaxy 2 on it. All right,
yeah, because they're gonna sell Mario Galaxy 2 for $60 full fucking dollars for the one fucking game. You guys are gonna be like, this shit is ass. Buy it, and it's gonna sell records. And then you guys are gonna be like, hey, somebody made this game that's similar, that plays kind of like Mario Galaxy, and you're gonna be like, I hope that motherfucker dies. Like that's the fucking, you guys are, it's insane to me.
It's
like,
wild.
I just don't understand it.
Yeah, just to piggyback on that, again, we talked about this earlier in the day or yesterday too. I'm like, I don't want to say it's 100% verifiable, but I can almost bet that there have been a bunch of, you know what I'm saying, user-generated content, some designs that people put on in forums and stuff for Pokemon, that Nintendo was just like, thank you, and just ripped that, threw that right into the game, and nobody batted an eye. I'm like, so what are we doing here?
You guys would look at Nintendo and say, an artist would be like, Nintendo stole this design from me, and you guys would comment it under it. You should be thankful that Nintendo designed it. Your design was cool enough to add to their game. They shouldn't have to pay you. You should pay them. Like, that's the type of shit that y'all are on. And hey, if y'all want to keep fucking playing subpar games, keep stroking it, bro, because that's all you're gonna get.
Insane, man. It's just wild to me how quickly this got blown out of proportion because it ran close to Nintendo. I don't know if it's just sensitivity over how volatile certain people are. Again, it's just there was so much agenda-driven commentary on this topic the first week it's been out. It's been so much, again, whether it be, again, the animal abuse thing, the AI thing, people hate it because it's lazy, because at the root of it, they support Nintendo games and they just hate anything that may look like Pokemon. And if it's not, it's just... it's just tribalism. You know what I'm saying? Tribalism was the biggest thing for me that I saw, at least from my side of the timeline, just looking at people. I'm like, yo, a lot of people just don't like it because they don't like it because they like something else. That's literally the only reason. They're not going to try it. They're not going to give it a whole second thought. It's just they don't like it because they like something else. And then they see it as an immediate threat, diametrically opposed other thing that they just don't like because, oh yeah, Nintendo told me everything else is ass, so I'm gonna say everything else is ass. I'm like, but you haven't even tried it, but you haven't even said it's not, you haven't even Googled the fact that it probably isn't, what I'm saying, AI like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just annoying to see that in real time, how many people are just going to operate under the guise of, it must be because somebody else said it with passion and conviction online and there's no verifiable information on it. Just because they said it with caps must mean it's true. Like, that is so dumb to me, man. And the fact is, it's unfortunate, but Palworld, they might not be out of the forest yet with that type of stuff because people can just drum up a random argument now. And if they say it with enough vim, like, it's just gonna get picked up. Somebody's gonna be like, "Oh, yo, there might be some truth to that," or something like that. When it could be completely false. So now they're in their iron sights. There's all this random, just internet discourse and BS from so many people, man. I just, again, if all things are settled, you know what I'm saying, and it comes out that there was really nothing. Again, the AR thing is already shot down, but like if it comes out there's like really just no, like something is probably a little bit close, but otherwise it's just done. Like, what are they gonna do? You know what I'm saying? I just appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? Some people are at least seeing it for what it is. There's a lot of people who just aren't qualified or fit to talk about it because they jumped the gun and didn't wait till real information came through. I'm glad a lot of those people are being, called out, and people are taking a step back and looking at the actual fact of the matter instead of that. And I need more people to keep doing that about Palworld. But outside of that, we can put that to the side. That's the controversy part. The game itself, Palworld, is fun as shit. Oh my gosh. Listen, we can get to just the straight impressions. I'm not gonna lie, I haven't played a survival game in a minute, and I part of me wanted to, but again, just a timing thing just been in the way. This has been the perfect segue back into the survival genre for me. I like how easy it is to get into. I like the pace of what you earn in terms of the progression system, the technology unlocks and the ancient unlocks. The range of the map is crazy to me. The range of the map is absolutely insane. There's parts of the map where, I haven't even seen yet. There's biomes. I was like, why the hell do we have a tundra pelt and then the hot desert pelt or whatever, hot pelt, whatever it's called. And I'm like, oh, they just got whole different biomes and stuff like that. It's just, there's so much to this game, and I am absolutely, I'm actually very, very impressed by how a lot of these elements came together. The catching system is pretty intuitive. It's really easy to do. Again, the crafting, the building, the base building seems pretty simple and intuitive. Again, the pals actually helping in the production of things and you building a settlement and stuff. You know what I'm saying? People with straight up evil ass capitalists and dictators, you know what I'm saying, putting people to work. I seen the whole factory commercial with somebody putting their pals into work, man. That's insane. But overall, I think the feel of the game is it just has a spirit of addictiveness. Like, you could really be on there all day just catching mons, building different settlements. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of good build up in the environment as well, to where there's enough things to do, whether it be the raids on your base that happen at random intervals, the different bosses that are scattered across the map that you can get, like the alpha pals, which is gonna, saying Pokemon as opposed to pals is gonna be a lot, but the alpha pals, the dungeons, the raid bosses, the boss towers, those things that are scattered across the map, the little, the shinies, of course, that they're still around. There's so much to do and there's so much to build. and it comes in such a very appealing package aesthetically to where, again, I like how the Pokemon look. I like the different range and array. There's so many ways to acquire them, whether it be through the egg system, the different again, the pals, the merchants. There's still a lot of secrets, and we haven't even we're playing on a server right now. We ain't even been to the guns yet. I don't got a gun yet, which is annoying to me personally, but it's also good because I'm like, yo, we pace the game out to where you got to keep working and grinding a little bit to earn those. And I like that progression system to where you need to explore more, to build more, and then you build more, you get more back, and then your Pokemon get stronger. And it's just this whole circle of just fun. It's fun. I like it. But Kendall, how are you enjoying the game so far?
I just have to say that if this is what it looks like for people to take inspiration from others, I need more games like this. Like, I think we've complicated it too much to the point where, like, this is something where, like, people are upset and there's just so many misuse of IPs at this point in time that, like, I have to say that, first of all, game is just fun. That's really it. Like, the biggest thing is, as soon as you get into the game, it's just like, yo, like, what do? Oh, survive. Wait, what do you mean? And like legit for when I know that's just like, oh, this is just another Tuesday. Like these are the type of games I play. But for me, I was just like, yo, like it's really interesting how well it works with, like, you know, playing with your friends. It's seamless in my opinion. Like it's really seamless how the monsters even work in the world. Like if the monsters weren't there, I probably wouldn't be upset, but it wouldn't take the game over the edge like it does, in my opinion. Like even to the point where you were saying the different areas, even when you restart a server, you start in different places, right?
Yep, you
You
do.
can choose to start, yeah.
Yeah, you can choose the different far hubs, which is I think is a really good touch.
Having different difficulties, like the replayability, first of all, because you're not playing the game the same every single time. Like through the roof. Like I as I said, it's something that you have to play. And I'm glad that more people are playing it and realizing how good of a game it is, because I think that a game like this is going to actually shake the industry, in my opinion. This is something that they'll look at and be like, wow, we got to do something about this, because if more developers or indie developers are able to do this, which also means that they're starting to be able to catch up, which means that there's more information, and a lot of these other companies are being very, very, very lazy, first of all. But outside of that, absolutely love the game. I have to say that from everything from the raids to the dungeons to just how well the game works, first of all, even just being on Game Pass and then being like, yo, Game Pass is kind of messing up right now. Let's go get it on Steam.
Bro, yeah.
We did it the day of.
Facts.
Yeah. It was, and that's what's so funny to me. Like the thing that brings me joy is that it's bringing a lot of people to a genre that I thoroughly. This is like survival games are high key like my relaxation games. Survival games and Death Stranding, like those are games where I'm like, yo, I'm feeling any kind of way on my brain, like my brain isn't being nice, or I just need a break from everything. Survival games are my go-to because it's like it's a fun little repetitive cycle. I know what I have to do because it's just survival. It's like I gotta get food, I gotta get water, I gotta build shit. I can expand and whatever, yada yada. This game takes what I liked about Ark, which was like the progression system. The at the end of the day, in like a game like Ark, you can go from like being a regular caveman and literally being like, I learned how to make a club, to being like, I have a fighter jet. Like I have robots now. Like I love the long progression of that game. You could do whatever you want, or you could just stay and be like, you know what, I just want to be a caveman the whole time. And like you have there's just so many ways of playing that game, right? And Palworld took Ark's formula for survival, made taming like monsters significantly easier, and gave them immediate uses. And that's why it's so good, is because now like they took a really good survival formula, added it with like a mixture of things that make just the game. Because now even when you're playing solo, because that was one thing when I played Ark by myself, it felt very lonely because you're playing literally by yourself. You're just running around bonking dodos on the head with a club, and like you're just like, all right, cool. Maybe eventually I can get a trap and then get some brainwash medicine and then nurture this dinosaur to fuck with me. Or I can play Palworld where I just catch a little sheep, another little sheep with me, and we're taking on the world together. And I got the other sheep working on the crib. Like it's just fun because you can play this shit by yourself and have a fun time. I have like 4 different saves with different people. Like I have the save with you guys. My girlfriend started a save. I'm playing a save with her, and I have my own save. And all 3 of those saves, very different experiences, very different areas, and honestly, very different settings. Because that was another thing that I love accessibility, as you guys know. I love being able to alter the game that I have. I own this game. I should be able to play however I want. I shouldn't have to wait for somebody to make a mod and then put something in the game. Changing how fast I level up, how much health I have. Like one thing I noticed is that in our game we have really high stamina, or stamina depletes slower. In my other game, that's not the case. Like we have to like ration our stamina, or we have to like when I'm using my bird, I can't be flying the whole time. So like I have to pick and choose when I want to use this, which makes it harder for me. Like, oh, this is a high level area. I should really scope it out before I go over there because I can't fly the whole time. Whereas like in another game where I have the stamina low, I can. And it's just a replayability that the things you unlock are different, because maybe in this playthrough I don't really care about unlocking the guns first. Maybe I want to unlock all the crib things, all the automations before I unlock the guns first. Or maybe in the other playthrough, I just want guns and I want to be strong and I want to be able to take things down. Like it's all in all a phenomenal game. I think IGN gave it like an 8, and before they even released that, I said this game to me is an 8. It's not perfect because there is a lot of problems. There are a lot of problems in the game. But it is in early access, and I've said this to you guys actually when we were playing. It's like I can't recall an early access game that has given us this much at the beginning of the game. Because if this game would have released like this, if this was just an actual release game, I wouldn't have been too upset with it. I'd have been like, it could be way better. But like
I could
the amount of stuff
one.
you could do, like the amount of stuff you do is like absurd. You could play this game for hundreds of hours as is, and they just released an entire roadmap of all the things that they are going to add into the game. The only downside I really have with this game, and it's not even a downside for like the game itself, it's just like I wish setting up a server or a joint game save, like even if it was a joint game save where anybody could just access it, like, hey, I'm just gonna log into our save, because there are some games that do that. I believe, like I think Fortnite Lego, you can have like a save the world together, and you can jump into it when the other people aren't online, or like having an easier way of setting up a dedicated server. And the only reason I'm saying that is I don't know how to set that shit up. And I looked at like videos, and it's a lot of work. And I wish they was just like, hey, just use this and it'll be good.
And that's tough because they're a smaller studio and they just don't have the they just don't have the infrastructure of Epic. They just don't. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And they're a small studio in early access. That's why I can't even hold that as too much of a problem, because at the end of the day, they're just getting started, and hopefully they continue to grow, because this could be an entire movement, and I can't wait. And I'm actually a little bit excited about this because I would love to see other people decide on making survival games of this caliber. You know what I'm saying? Like, what if there's a Dragon Quest game that's like Palworld, where there are Dragon Quest builders, and there's Dragon Quest treasures, but what if you made an entire survival game like to this scope, to this magnitude? What if you made a survival game like this with Monster Hunter, like with this scope and magnitude? And I just hope that this is like, because I really hate the idea of people saying that this shit is lazy, or people are taking, or people are just like stealing ideas and just using it for themselves. Honestly, they've been doing that shit since Grand Theft Auto. There's been so many fucking Grand Theft Auto clones, it's not even funny. And a lot of them suck. So like people have already been lazy and taking shit and just trying to put their own spin on it and it being ass. So why are all of a sudden we're against that now?
And this is the thing that's crazy about the gaming space. We've done so much innovation. It's hard to do it nowadays. And I'm just like, what I look for personally in experience is like, can you tell a distinct spin on what maybe has already been established before? Can there be a substantial deviation for what we know? That's what it is. We haven't seen the innovation yet in a lot of different games. Maybe the closest that we've gotten in the past, like, couple of years is what I'd say maybe Alan Wake 2 probably of last year, just how they presented it. But still, it's not like a crazy innovation like, oh, this gameplay is like the next thing. So Palworld's right where it's supposed to be in terms of expectation for what it's going to do, whether it innovates or it iterates. It's going to be an iteration. It's going to be something that takes it to the next step, forward, but not necessarily up to the next level. You know what I mean? I mean, that's most games today, if not all of them. They're not creating the whole next paradigm of what the gaming industry looks like just yet. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's found out that formula to really truly bring that up. But Palworld is just fun, man. Again, it's just the interactions you can have. Again, prime example, literally the first thing I did when I dropped down in the game, I wasn't in anybody's server yet. I was trying to figure out how to get in. I walked up to a big ass man. No, I walked up to a person on a hill. I punched them in the face, and they were chasing me with a shotgun. And then 3 people were. And then I ran to this big ass mammoth. And I was like, "Hey, mammoth, help me!" They shot the mammoth as I was talking to the mammoth, and the mammoth was hitting them. And the mammoth just stopped working for a second. I punched it, and then it killed me immediately. It killed them immediately. It was just a crazy moment. But that was fun. That was something I could get into and run and just share that experience. And I feel like that only happened to like one other person I really saw it to. You know what I'm saying? Like there's just a lot of crazy different encounters, interactions, things you can do in this game. Just the melting pot of stuff that they throw in there. You know what I'm saying? I see the Soulsborne influence. I see the Elden Ring influence with some of the locations and stuff and how they're built and how it looks. Some of the systems with, again, Arc, again, some of the PAL monster tamer genre. You know what I mean? Like this blend is really, really, really fucking fun. It's a formula that works. It's a formula that makes sense. It's a formula that provides consistent value. There's always something to strive for. There's always something to do, whether it be friends or you're alone. There's enough coverage in this world to create something fun. And that's what this shit's all about, right? Is it fun? Yes. Hell yeah, it's fun. Is there stuff to improve? Yes, of course. My biggest complaint of playing the first, few days of this was the building system. Because I feel like I think maybe it's a little bit too stringent at times. I feel like you could build maybe in a little certain, build a bit freer. It's got to be attached to an object. It's got to be attached to a structure. Maybe you can like dial it back just a little bit to help us give a bit more freedom. And I'm only saying this because I turned into an absolute HGTV enthusiast on crack, and I've been building houses like crazy. I've been building watchtowers. I've been building, like second floors, third floors. I got to the Stone Age now, so I'm building up things. And these people burnt the second base down that we had in our server, and I'm still on the ass about that. When we find them, it's up for you. I want to let these people know, these dumbass raiders, whoever y'all are, it's a wrap for y'all when I see y'all. That's all you need to know. But yeah, like just that whole thing about the building system, I hope that does get covered, but it will get covered because we got more updates. They're not only capitalizing on, the buzz that they have now. They generated like what, 250 million at this point in sales. They had record-breaking numbers, bro. $250 million off of the first some days of an early access game is insane. And they already dropped their early access roadmap. Just to talk about it real quick, they said there was a bunch of bug changes. They want to make sure the game is stable. Again, just a lot of rollbacks and stuff. So make sure y'all keep posted on that. They're gonna work on the PAL AI and just the configuration improvements of that. And then for future updates, they said they already have PvP in the works, raid bosses for endgame content, a PAL arena to do PvP for the PALs that you catch, Steam, Xbox crossplay, various Xbox features and improvements. Again, server transfers and migrations, improvements to the building system, which I just mentioned, and new islands, PALs, bosses, and tech to include in the game. So how do y'all feel about, after just the initial impression, what they're looking to add in right after with this roadmap?
I'm excited.
They're shitting on the industry.
Yeah.
No, only reason I say that is because when is like microtransactions gonna hit? Like, what's going on? Where are they at?
He's waiting. The itch is coming. He's like, it's in the air.
Yeah.
Where are they at?
A game this free with this many, like, and the thing is, like, even if they did that, I wouldn't even be mad, man.
I wouldn't even be mad at
the game
that, man.
The game was, and another thing we're not talking about, the game is $26. Like, that shit is $25. That shit is
outside
cheaper.
of a sale is $30.
Yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that shit is cheaper than most. I'm sorry to say, it's cheaper than most Pokemon games, and you're getting fucking 25. If you're lucky, you're getting 25 fucking frames per second, and fucking like very stale. I don't want to say stale combat because there's a lot of reasons to love Pokemon. I'm not trying to shit on Pokemon.
Nope.
But this game is $30. It's giving you a lot of good It's giving you 111 different fucking pals to collect on top of a robust survival system with free updates and servers where you can play with your friends. And I don't mean just being in the same fucking area as your friends, standing next to each other, or like fucking, or the few activities you can do as a pair in these games. I'm talking about like
full blown everything.
Full blown everything is in here, and you're telling me like, nah, I shouldn't like this game because it's similar to Pokemon. Man, I don't give a fuck, I guess. Like, that's just what it comes down to, is I really just don't care. I don't really care for mediocre shit. I'm not for it anymore. I'm tired of spending $60 on games that every single time we get an inch, we're like, yo, guess what? You can make fucking sandwiches now. And instead of going and following the beaten path, you can now go and do shit on your own time. But I mean, the levels do matter, so technically there kind of is still an order. But at the end of the day, you can still walk around though. You know, that shit's cool. It's like, oh, is the world full of life? Kind of. Does it run well? No. Is there voice acting? No. Like what am I here for? Like it's not a bad, to some people this isn't a bad game. But you're not gonna sit here and tell me like this shit is a ripoff, bro. It has nothing to do with each other. I'm just, man.
They don't.
Yeah,
they really don't.
Yeah.
Gotta play the game.
It's
they
crazy.
Really don't.
You got to get in there and try to really figure out what's the beginning and end of the differences of it, man. It's just like, if you're going to sit on your agenda, cool. Just shut up and sit in the corner with it. We don't want to hear your opinion. But if you actually tried and you're like, oh, either you don't feel it or whatever for your own personal reasons, that's fine. But at least you tried it. At least you went in and formed an opinion based off of factual information, i.e. your own firsthand experience on a game. You know what I'm saying? That's the crux of this whole thing, man. But again, it's just dope to see. I'm glad that Palworld is out. We've been waiting on this game for a while. We bigged it up a lot with how it might happen, but we're glad that it's here. And not only it's here, it's standing on crazy success just with how much it was built up, and it's been delivering so far, man. And again, games like this, games like Lethal Company, you know what I'm saying? Those, I wouldn't say not necessarily cult or counterculture hits, but they're just games that people, again, just caught on to. They're actually fun in their core gameplay loop, and they have enough support for people to keep running through it and supporting it and egging it on and getting it to the next levels. And they're, you know, the indie side or the smaller studio side, they're going to take the risks that these AAA studios are not giving us because they're resting on either nostalgia or they're resting on their wallets, or they're resting on tried and true formulas in this day and age. And you're not going to see that. But Palworld is another testament to, you know, divergent gameplay can pay off. Divergent gameplay experiences can pay off. And so far it's been fucking phenomenal, man. It's been phenomenal.
Yeah. I would play this game. Honestly, even if motherfuckers, like, this is the type of game that I don't even know. Like, I was gonna say some shit, but I'd rather just not say anything. I'm just gonna say this game is good. If you don't like it, that's really seems like your issue right now.
Yep.
And truthfully, one day you will free yourselves from the shackle of that really big ass phone and be like, hey, maybe games are not the best here. And then you're going to have so much fun with everything else. Stop. These people are not paying you.
Again,
so stop riding for them.
Your life is not determined by a piece of plastic. Please remember that.
If they could pull the games off your Switch right now, they would.
Listen, if there's anybody on earth that wanted to, listen, they're going to be the closest.
Like, if they wanted to, if they could find a way to literally pull shit from your system so that you could no longer play it, to resell it to you later, because that's literally what they fucking do, they would in a heartbeat, and you know it. But hey, Pokemon, hey, I'm sure the Pokemon Discord is hitting you with all the big back pats when you over here like, yeah, just dunked on a Palworld tweet. Ha 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 ha. I'm gonna go back to playing Violet. Let me go ahead and walk slowly through this world, or jump on my Mon and walk and progress slowly through this world.
Yeah, man, it's just crazy. But nah, big ups to Palworld, man. Big ups to Palworld. So far it's been super fun. Hey, when that 32 player server drop, nigga, it's up for whoever's in there. That's all I know. When we get that PvP going, hey man, we sending hell, baby. And I caught 2 mammoths. Y'all. I caught 2 of them after they gave me hell in the beginning of the game. It's up for whoever, bro. Man, listen, yo, where Charles at? We need to open this game back up, man. I'm trying to build a fortress, man. Let's get to it. Shit. All right, well, that's it. I'm trying to get back to the game. I wasn't bullshitting, man. I'm serious. Y'all, anything else that we missed from this week, y'all?
Not really.
Nah, man. All right, shit. We can call it that, man. listen, thank y'all so much. We appreciate y'all for listening in. Kendall, hey man, you've been our returning guest. You know what I'm saying? Definitely wanted to bring you for this episode, but glad you stopped in. Please give us your closing notes and where people can find you if they're listening in.
Basically, I just want to say Palworld is amazing. I hope we get more games and more devs that are inspired just to make quality games like this. In my opinion, I really do hope it sparks something like new and exciting, because 2024 has definitely been a very exciting year for gaming. Outside of that, like you've even had just Prince of Persia, which was absolutely amazing.
Cooked.
But I obviously, outside of that, if you guys want to find me, I'm over by Ken Knows on YouTube, and just check out my channel. And yeah.
Facts. He's definitely got some dope commentary on Palworld that's already been out, and some more stuff on the way too. So make sure I check in and tap in with more of his perspective on Palworld and more. Again, #1 yapper on that damn platform. So make sure you check in with him, man. He's goated with this. So make sure I check out his show and go support that. Links will be in all in the description and stuff. So make sure you tap on those links. When Easy, give us your closing statements.
Play the games you want to play, enjoy them. Make sure you read or do some semblance of research before you start advocating for shit, or just don't and just shut the fuck up. That's also an option. So,
Jazz snap.
Enjoy your games, drink your water, and honestly, shut up the haters, because they're too busy having overheated switches to really be talking to you all crazy.
I'm dead, man. Listen, all I gotta say is, guys, let's think very, very hard before we speak. For some people, smoke may come out of your ears, but it's okay. Just keep on thinking and really just lock in on, is what I'm saying actually making sense? With the context of the situation, with how much information's out, does it actually make sense? And then make your decision. What happens after that is up to you. The consequence of you sending that into the universe, that's on you. But listen, guys, let's be rational. You know what I'm saying? Let's enjoy video games. Let's wait till facts come out. And let's just have a great year, man. There's been some dope shit that's already come out. Like Kendall said, again, we had Prince of Persia, we had Palworld, we had again Infinite Wealth scoring really high apparently, which we gotta, you know what I'm saying, might take a look in, because you know what I'm saying, Wayne might be on the high horse. Tekken got scored high as well. Like there's some stuff coming through, bro. There's a lot of good stuff in this year. Trust me, you guys want to keep an eye out for all the games that are coming this year, big and small. Got some dope stuff coming on the way. You guys don't want to miss out, man. Just no cooldown everywhere, no cooldown podcast, no cooldown pod. Check us out, show some love. But with that being said, that's been episode 83, and we got a ski daddle. So with that being said, there's been no cooldown, and we out this bitch, man. We out of here, man. Yeah. Peace.